has chosen the storyline spread for your general monthly reading, which is a scattershot across the entire sign, telling 3, 4, or even 5 different stories for people going through different scenarios this month. The stories can be about any topic, so the floor is wide open. People say that often multiple stories do and will resonate with them, but the main goal of the storyline spread is to find that one story that is all about you. And that is what we're going to do today. Okay, Cancer, here we go with your storyline spread for January 2024. Story number 1, we start with nurturing of the money, nurturing of health. The Queen of Pentacles can mean both. One or the other is more than likely the factor involved. I do believe most of you, this probably is financial. Usually, and the reason I feel that way is because I looked ahead to story 2, and story 2 is more about health. So I really think that they're kind of not doing health twice. I think they're kind of putting more finances here in story 1. So anyway, we talk about nurturing of the money here. I do believe in story 1. If that sounds like you, Cancer, and you're really kind of saving right now, you're kind of like compiling and trying to figure things out financially, this is more than likely your story here. It is a very short story, but they really talk about the Hierophant card next, which is the card about taking care of your flock, taking care of your people. It's like the pastor of the church taking care of his congregation. It's like mother hen taking care of her little ducklings. Okay, so that's what they show here, is what you're doing in January. Maybe that is financial too. I'm not exactly sure, but it's good energy to have. It's good to take care of your people, and it also kind of indicates here for you. And let me just throw this out here. They didn't show that there's anything toxic in here, but just to make sure that there cannot be. Because if this card was reversed, literally it would mean like a toxic situation and like that's no good and you shouldn't take care of these people. They didn't do that. So it's coming in okay, but I'm just kind of putting my little disclaimer under there. If you're not sure, if you're like, hey, it says take care of people, but this person has proven to me before, they're a little sketchy, they're not very reliable, something like that, I would say, use your own discernment there. They do say that something here, it's time to go. So I don't know if that's a spending habit. I don't know if they're talking about like, it's time for you to get rid of something that maybe it's a bill, maybe it's something like on your report or something like that, but there is time to go with something. So they do want you to kind of purge and move away from something here in your story number 1. Okay, guys, let me take a moment here to tell you about the reformatting of your general monthly readings, as well as a few very exciting updates that are coming. The first thing you've probably already noticed is that the overhead camera has been removed from your spread. This saves us about 4 or 5 minutes. If looking at the cards, though, is something that you're interested in, I am posting the picture, a snapshot overhead view from the spread that I'm doing for every sign. You can find that on Facebook. Also on Facebook, you'll be able to find the printout for chemistry tracking for your month. And this is also posted on my website. Chemistry tracking basically shows what sign is going to be vibing well with your sign in the month, as well as what sign or signs will be repelling, kind of opposite energy. What sign you're going to be kicking well with and what sign you're not so much. Moon Cycle cheat sheet will also be posted on scottsagent.com on the Talking About page, and also Moon Cycle will be included in your reading, along with the Rune Stone, and along with Homily. All the things that you've grown to love will still be in your reading. You're getting an extra thing here, though, because every single sign is getting angel protection at the end of your reading. This is an extra angel card, just a little extra information from Spirit about your month. However, all the spreads that I called extra spreads, stuff like telling time, yes or no, chakra scrub, health scrub, stuff like that, animal totems, all that good stuff, those are all extra spreads. Those are going to be moved into what I call urgent readings. Urgent readings are going to be posted the very first week of the month. If Spirit requested one, about half of the signs get these. So that's going to be very important to look out for. Those will be posted everywhere, but of course all the newest updates will be posted on scottsagent.com first. The last thing I want to share with you today is that the quadrants video is coming. January 3rd is the date, and that is the quadrants video for your sign. And this forecasts information for the entire year. It is some of my most popular videos and audio products as well. So quadrants is something you do not want to miss. That'll be everywhere January 3rd. What is a quadrant? Well, quadrant forecast for your entire year broken up into 4 different pieces. And we're going to be talking about things like work, health, love, money, planning and preparation for vacations, relaxation, when the best quadrant is for you guys to get busy and be productive, when is the best quadrant to play it safe, and when is the best quadrant for risks. We're going to be looking at themes for the different quadrants, a whole bunch of information that you guys will be able to obtain from these readings, so do not miss the quadrants dropping January 3rd. And for January only, Quadrants is available as a personal audio product, a personal reading done just for you, looking at the planning and preparation for your year, going through all of the same topics, but just making it that much more accurate for you. It is one of my most popular products, and it is only available in January, so do not wait to book your Quadrants reading. ScottSagent.com. Story number 2, Cancer. I told you this is what we talked more about health, and here's why I believe that is so. We start with my heartbreak card. It is coming in inverted, so this is kind of like it's kind of the weird heartbreak. It's kind of like the not full heartbreak. It makes me feel like it's not heartbreak at all, necessarily. And the reason I think that is because my Chariot card, when I arranged the pictures for the overhead, for the spread, the way I did it, I kind of focused on... without really realizing it, I focused on what I believe is, at least what reminds me of, is a little medical symbol here. So that also makes me point to heart with medical, because the heart is an actual heart in this deck that they wanted me to use for you guys here too. So this is a place here, if you have anything going on with your heart, with your lungs, anything in this region, even breasts for women, this would be a time when in January you would want to get this looked at. You would want to get it checked upon, because I feel like Spirit here is saying, you know what, this is probably no big deal. For most of you, if this is even a thing at all, this is not going to be everybody's story. You'd probably have an idea if this is yours, because you'd notice that something's a little off here, right? With something in this area. And it either is or it isn't. Now, what they do show is what to do about it here, Cancer, because they show you the Fates card. First of all, they're letting you know that this is the way that things are supposed to be. This is part of destiny. This is not because, for example, you smoked when you were a teenager. This is not because you drank alcohol in your 20s, okay? So this is like, it's the way it was. Maybe it's genetic or something like that you're dealing with. They show you here with my Chariot card. The Chariot card shows horses being kind of pulled in different directions. So here, when I have this on an upright like I do, they're talking about tunnel vision. Like, you got to bring these horses back together. You got to focus on one thing, not two things, not multiple things, 3, 4, 5. One thing. So we really got to get tunnel visioned on what this is. It makes me feel like there's just one way for you to go here. One treatment plan, maybe one thing for you to change, maybe in your diet, maybe in your health, your routine, something like that really improves this whole situation. Spirit's probably looking ahead down the path and sees that, you can do this one thing and really set yourself up for success down the road. They also show here that this is something you're going to want to investigate more on and look into deeper information on. They show kind of you don't have the full scope. You're not looking at the full map. You don't have exactly the full picture of the blueprint of what is going on here. So the way that you get that is you get opinions from people that do, or you do some research yourself, okay? And the reason that we talk about all that is because they want you to avoid what they call a small setback, small failure of some form, okay? So we want to just take care of our health here. January is a perfect time to observe what is going on with your body. And of course, this is a general reading, guys. This is not going to hit everybody the same way. Absolutely not. And that is why you really need a personal private reading to get messages that are personal, private, specific only to you. And I offer a wide variety of those on my website, scottsagent.com, all the way from small, all the way up to full service. One of those happens to be a health scrub. So anyway, we end with some basically information is what they're talking about. A lot of information there they gave you because they want you to seek that information if you feel like something's off. And if you don't, it's not your story, right? Let's get into your story 3. Story 3, guys, is your largest story of the group. The thing they bring in first is very mature energy here. So it feels like if you're one of my Cancers who has just really had to take the high road here, or dealt with somebody who's very childish, or is like very like low road, low rent, not a good person, this could very well be your story here. They show there's a little bit of boredom going on here, a little discontent, not a lot happening perhaps, or just Spirit here saying you got to find something to get interested in here. And maybe that is just going to be a trigger point where you can say, okay, well, I'm going to go follow this one hobby that I haven't done in a long time. I'm going to go get interested in that. And the reason they bring up all of that is because my Oracle Angel card says new life. So there is some kind of new beginning here. And they want you to be very deeply involved with it instead of just being like, the routine, ho-hum, boredom every day type of thing. This is really going to complete you. I have my world card next. This is going to be very fulfilling for you to do, and you accomplish a lot too, very much on the accomplishment chart. So maybe this is something that you've wanted to do for a while. And maybe for some of you, this has to do with working with kids, or you used to work with kids and you're thinking about some aspect with that, because I have my nostalgic card in there too. So that's just a secondary definition. But anyway, the world card being completion is just like checking something off the box. It's like you always wanted to do this one thing. Well, now's a good time, maybe in January, to start this new life. Put yourself on the pedestal a little bit here. Get some accomplishments. Put a trophy on the case. That is the energy of my 9 of Cups here. It's a trophy card, basically, like you accomplished this. You can accomplish this. Get out of that boredom, though. That'll just kind of get in your way, and you won't get your wheels moving. We wrap up there with the 2 of Swords. It is inverted. It is basically saying that you kind of look on the dark side of your mind here. So not just are you bored, but like you're your own worst enemy up here. You kind of just like either second guess yourself, maybe doubt yourself, distrust your potential, your capabilities, and you shouldn't do that, because really the sky is your limit. There is nothing here saying that you cannot do any of this stuff. In fact, everything here points me in the direction that you can and you should. So very good. We're going to wrap up with a couple things here, guys, actually. First, Angel Oracle card, which I do for every single sign now. It is just part of a little extra for you guys for the new year. And I'm going to do it every single month for 2024. Extra Angel Oracle card just gives us a little information more toward your month. They talked about between worlds. This is something I've seen come up a lot this month in my general readings. I feel like the veil is very, very thin right now, which means, some of you have your foot on the other side, and some of the other side has their foot here. Okay, so the veil's very thin. You can communicate very, very easily with your deceased loved ones, with the angels, the spirit guides helping you out, guardian angels, the whole like. Okay, so between worlds is saying like how high vibration you are and the situation and environment is for you in the month of January. So keep in mind that, your dreams can be very vivid in January, and these people, some of your loved ones may be visiting you in your dreams as well. Pay attention to what occurs to you, because the veil is very thin. We're going to wrap up with your runestone, guys. A very interesting one. It's Harvest. It is the runestone of Harvest. And, Harvest in story 1 would be about the saving aspect of the money. It's like the money is the harvest, okay? And you don't want to blow the harvest, that type of deal. Harvest in story 2 is about the future. It's really about what you can accrue right now, how much health you can accrue right now to get momentum going for a later time. And then Harvest here in story 3 is all about your new life. And if you're never going to collect on that, you're never going to bring it in, you're never going to attract it, you're never going to manifest it, well, it's never going to come. So they're trying to get you to harvest that, to grab onto something and hang onto it and go for it. So there is Harvest through your 3 stories. So I'm going to cut you over to your moon cycles and also wrap up with your homily. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. when this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there, something that's got control of you or hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Hey guys, this is Scott Sagent here for your January 2024 edition of Homily. And for this month's homily, starting the new year, I thought it would be fun if we did a little thought experiment here, so that is why you cannot see me right now. And that's okay, because I cannot see you either. It's actually not necessary. You can hear my voice, and that is all you're going to need in this exercise. It's a little thought experiment called the Ideal You. So go ahead and take this opportunity, since it's going to be a closed eye kind of a meditation. Take this opportunity to find a little couch, a comfortable spot, a recliner, a bed, a sofa, whatever it is for you. Get nice and comfortable where you can shut your eyes for a few minutes. If you're driving, you know what? Probably don't participate. I think that would be a bad idea. Maybe you can come back and check this homily out at a safer time for you. But for everybody else, let's get started with the Ideal You experiment. The very first thing I want you to consider and think about is what you would rate yourself here on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of where your placement is in life, how you have attained your goals over the last few years, if you're where you want to be, if you're nowhere close to where you want to be, the way that you present yourself, the way that others perceive you, all of these things. I'm just giving you a few examples of, obviously it's a much bigger umbrella, and whatever it is for you, the way that you come up with your rating system is just fine, but come up with a number to where you feel like you are at right now. Okay, so remember that number, but also throw it away. We're not going to need it for a while. Right now, we're not going to concern ourselves with future goals. We're really just worrying about the present, right here, right now. What does your ideal you look like right now? How do they dress? How do they carry themselves? How do they act around people? How are they perceived by people? How are they perceived in the workplace? All this kind of thing. You have to visualize it to make it come true. So this is a visual aspect that I would like you to consider right now, and be very, very specific about your visualization. Think very deeply about the details. How this person wears their nails, what kind of jewelry they wear, what do they dress like, what kind of body language do they put out, how do they speak, what kind of tone, do they smile easily, how big, are they warm to others? This is your ideal you that I would like you to consider, visualize, and hang on to that visual. Now take this energy signature, this whole idea that you just constructed in your mind and put together and puzzle pieced together. Maybe some of you duct tape and super glued it together. It doesn't matter. Take this energy signature here, and what we're going to do is we're going to expand it. We're going to make it much, much larger. However you viewed it before, we're going to multiply this times like 100, times 1,000, times whatever it is that this sucker is huge. Whether it's a visual of you or a goal or what it is, we're going to make it massive. So think about it getting bigger, 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 and much, much bigger than even that. Now maybe some of you have made this so big that you have to zoom out just to be able to see the whole picture anymore, and that's just fine. But now we're going to adjust and tune the contrast. We're going to tune some settings here. So adjust that contrast. We're going to make everything very bright. All those colors are going to get vibrant and very, very sharp. There is going to be no dull colors here at all. Everything is super bright, full of contrast. Once you're done tweaking that, now we're going to tweak the brightness. We're going to make it bright, all the way fully bright as you can go before it hits white. So now these colors are not just bright, but they are almost blinding, and they are so sharp. The final setting that we're going to tweak is frequency. We're going to turn that frequency knob all the way up to high. You cannot hear frequency here, but you almost can, because as you turn it up high, you can see this picture shaking, vibrating. You can feel it very deeply in your bones. This frequency is being turned up high. You are raising the level of your energy signature of what you've created. I picture this ringing like a champagne glass, and once you've got this frequency all the way turned up, your brightness and your contrast all the way turned up, your energy signature, we want to blow it up, and not just blow it up to get rid of it, but we're going to blow it up and expand it out in every direction, just like a supernova, a star exploding, and we are going to mentally just shoot this whole entire signature that you've created everywhere, little bits and pieces of it fragmented everywhere, every which way, and it's just dropping down like snow, falling a little bit here, a little bit there, and visualize how people are reacting to this version of you. As we wrap up your January homily and conclude our thought experiment, I have two final questions for you. Number one, rate yourself again, how you feel right now. I want to know how you feel, how this makes you feel, your ideal you being everywhere. What is your rating now? I don't care what it was before. How do you feel right now? Most people, general consensus, bump up their first number after an experiment like this of 1 or 2 points. Maybe you're experiencing that. Maybe you boosted even higher. Maybe you stayed the same. I'm not exactly sure, but the consensus is that most people do raise up just from this couple minutes of this idea processing in their mind. And visualization is key for manifestation. It is the only way that it is brought into the physical realm and made real. So now you have the tools. You know how to make this energy signature. And if you can bump your rating and feel that much better about your future right now in the present moment, imagine in just a couple of minutes, imagine if you were to do this every day. This is helping you to get to that goal, to get to that place, to get to your ideal you. It's not a future deal. It's a present deal. All this work is done in the present. And this is just one tool to help you get to that point. Hopefully, January 2024 here in your homily is a good bridge to get you there. So I hope you've enjoyed the readings and your homily. Thank you all so much. Have a great January 2024. I know you will.
I guess the fortune teller's right.